On August 15 this year, Polish Defense Minister Mariusz Błaszczak and US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo signed an agreement to expand military cooperation. Legally, this document is the final chord of this historic cooperation between US and Poland in creating conditions for the permanent deployment of the US armed forces in Poland. For its entry into force, the document must be ratified first of all by the US Congress, and now it became known that it passed a positive vote in the Senate Defense Committee, after which it will be put to the final vote. According to the terms of the agreement, instead of the temporary deployment of American troops in Polish territory that are already there right now, the permanent deployment of American troops will be legalized, as it can now be observed in Spain and Germany. The representative of the Polish Ministry of Defense, Marcin Oczepa, gave some clarifications on this matter. In particular, he said that such an agreement is standard for the countries members of the North Atlantic Alliance, and therefore the issues of Poland's sovereignty are not questionable in this regard. It is also known that pro-Moscow media, in particular in Poland itself, actively discussed the topic of the fact that military bases that the Americans would occupy would have an extraterritorial status, and that the Polish authorities would lose access to them. They also called it an opportunity to create the notorious CIA prisons outside the United States. Oczepa explained that there is no question about extraterritoriality here, and any facilities that will be used by the American military will certainly be available to representatives of the relevant Polish authorities. He also explained that the group of American troops stationed in Poland on a permanent basis will initially be in a number of 5,000 to 6,000 of personnel, but the infrastructure that will be provided to the American contingent will be designed with the ability to very quickly increase this number to 20,000 people. That's the forces that will control the American troops in Eastern Europe. He did not say that the center of command of all military forces in Europe could move there from Germany, but as US-German relations develop after the November US presidential elections, such a possibility is not excluded. Moreover, as far as a brief description of the infrastructure that is being built under this agreement is known, such a development of events is very likely. Marcin Oczepa also expressed confidence that the deployment of American troops in Poland would be beneficial for those regions where this plan is applied. For example, in Germany, where until recently there was an American contingent of 30,000 American troops, an additional 14,000 jobs were created, through which Germany received about $5 billion a year. Under the same type of cooperation, the UK receives about $1.6 billion and Spain $600 million a year. So in addition to the military aspects, which are unconditional and are expressed in the further unification of the Polish army with American standards, it is assumed that local budgets will also receive a significant increase in revenues. You see, in general, Poland persistently and consistently went to the legal consolidation of the American military presence on its territory. And as you can see, to completely achieve this goal, there lasts not even one step, but actually a half of step. And most importantly, the agreement concerns NATO only with general approach to such activities, but in fact, it is outside of the framework of the alliance. This means that, for instance, Ukraine and Georgia also have something to think about.